Happy Thanksgiving, sunshine. So, this is something new for me. I'm here in my office building. I'm going to be getting together with my parents in about 30 minutes. But I thought, this would be a great way for me to tell you about my trip to Miami, to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope your Thursday goes fabulous, and I'm happy you're going to pick up your Thanksgiving care package tomorrow, Friday. And there's some stuff for your upcoming procedure that I thought of recently, like this really cool scratcher for you and Pumpkin. It's you can open it up. It's so cool. And then I sent you a little something from Miami. But I wanted to give you kind of a breakdown about the property, the places I visited in Miami. So the Fort Lauderdale Airport I thought was great. It was very compact. The national car people were wonderful. The person who I traveled with, this person I went to high school with, and in the note that I sent you, there's something in there saying, "You're a great travel partner," because I've now seen the opposite end of the coin, and I'm not complaining, but one of the things that I learned about this person is that people that have severe anxiety cannot sleep, which leads to fatigue, which leads to anxiety, which leads to a whole bunch of other things. And I had never experienced that firsthand with this individual. Everything was fine, right? But it can be very stressful and distracting when a person is battling. They're battling these demons having to do with anxiety and not feeling 100% right. So the person's shoes weren't fitting, so we went to Ross, and then after that we went to a soul food restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, which was great. And I had sent a text to the resort, and a guy named Antonio helped me out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you." Morning coffee. And so I put a little package together for him. It was a little bag and a little framed of a Renoir painting. So when I pulled up to the valet parking and left my car there for basically 3 days, I took him the gift, and he was so happy. And I told him that my partner was having a birthday, so they scrambled and put all these balloons together in a little car gift package. But ironically, that night we had to be at the Bay Mall for a night cruise. Well, to make a long story short, we missed the cruise. I mean, I think I paid like $100 for it, but we still went over there. We were stuck in traffic. I had no idea that the Miami downtown traffic was so bad. Of course, it doesn't help when you're doing it at 4 to 5 p.m. So there's a ton of traffic. I found another cruise. It was like $50 total. It wasn't like a fancy one like the other one, but it was still nice to be able to see all those celebrity homes and so forth, and that was good. So we got back to the facility, and I loved the layout, and everything was good. My partner said that I snore, so she went to the other room, and we kind of alternated on that. My feeling was I don't want to ruin your trip because I'm either snoring or whatever. So I just said, us cancers, right? We're going to hold our nose and just do our best to make the other person happy, even if circumstances are not good. So anyway, so much for that. So Friday is when I signed up for the Gray Line tour, and so took an Uber to downtown Miami, where the beach, not the beach, but the bay situation set up with all the boats. So they were going to do a boat tour during the day. So the captain got sick or something along those lines. So they sent us on the bus portion, one of those double-decker thingies. Super cheesy, but I loved it because I got to see all these places that I've only seen on the internet and so forth, and that was nice. So at the end of the tour, we had some time, so we went to the Perez Art Museum, which was good. And then after that, I read that the Miami Book Fair was having an exposition, or they're having their big Miami thing. So I thought, oh my God, this is great because, it's something to see in downtown Miami. It's a new experience, and it's free for the most part. So I found out that Amy Tan, the author of the Joy Luck Club, was going to have a special lecture there. tickets are like $150. They sold out. So I went there and I said, oh, I went to the media table and I told my partner, my travel partner, I said, you stand here, okay? I'm going over there, I'm gonna talk to the media people and let me see if I can get us in. And I said, I'm an Instagram page visiting San Antonio, here it is, da 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 da. So she looked at me and she says, you know what, I think I can do it for you. So she literally gives me the thing and I says, well, I'm here with my partner and blah, blah, blah. Well, she got a pass too. So I went in there and I basically went to work. I said, if you're going to be giving me this glove, I'm going to film the interview and I'm also going to post it because it's the right thing to do, right? And afterwards, and the whole story was revolving around her and her backyard and not cats, but birds. She started painting and drawing the birds that she was seeing outside. And she wrote a whole book about it, how the birds calmed her down. I asked the first question, can young people who suffer from anxiety benefit from watching birds and drawing them? She said, absolutely. And she shared some experiences with her stepkids. And then after that, there was a reception on the top floor. And, oh, by the way, the day before after eating soul food, we went to Publix, I bought a whole chicken and spinach, and that's what I ate for breakfast. So that little kitchenette was fantastic, forks, everything was really nice. They did a good job. I had no idea it was so close to the beach, and I also had no idea that the property to the right on Collins is the one that collapsed, where all those 98 people died. I only saw that the day after, so that was really heartbreaking to think that the HOA had been told, hey, if you make these improvements for $2 million, it's going to help your situation. They decided not to, and that thing collapsed. But the location of your property is amazing. I mean, you literally walk a few feet, and there you are by the beach. Incredible. And it's not a big property. It's a smaller one, which kind of made it intimate, if that makes any sense. So getting back to the book fair, we're at the top floor, and it was funny, Sunshine, because I don't know if it was me having a Spanish look or, you see all these ads with the guy, he has the beard and he's drinking the wine and the beer, and he's, if I drink this, I'm very happy, those commercials, right? So I was getting looks by women there. They were like, you look out of place. You don't look like you're from here, which was kind of cool. And maybe I was, either the Cuban women or the international women thought I was too international, but I was getting looks. Even the young people, the young cats were stopping me. Oh man, I love your fit. You look so cool. You look so fly. That was funny. And I typically don't get that here, but I thought in Miami, I just stood out. And there was really no Miami vibe per se. Of course, you have a lot of tourists, so you don't really know who's a tourist and who's not. But I thought everyone was very casual, and maybe I had this idea that they're all wearing guayaberas and Miami street clothes that the Cubans wear. Even in Little Havana, nobody was wearing that stuff. Only the tourists were buying those guayaberas that the Cuban people wear. So I thought that was cute. So after that, we took the bus took an Uber. All the Uber drivers were fabulous. I could speak to them in Spanish, and that was really cool. So Saturday morning is when I went to, I woke up at 6 a.m. My travel partner was asleep, and it was funny because she said, well, we haven't seen the beach. I actually saw the beach Saturday morning at 6 when I went by myself. Same thing Sunday morning. I didn't wake her up. I didn't tell her what I did. I was like, this is my time. It's my personal time. And I'm grateful you've come along for this ride so I can give you this experience. But I carved out my own time to have fun and do things. And that's when I took those shots. And I kid you not, when I was on the beach and I saw a figure that looked like your figure, I said, look, it's Sunshine's presence here. It was like a spiritual moment, and that's what I filmed and I sent you. So I'm glad you liked that video. So the next day, which had been a Saturday, I signed up for a Little Havana tour. By the way, I'm looking at notes right here. These are the notes that I took for each day. I put little plastic things on these things, so that's what I'm reading off if it looks weird. So the Havana tour, by the way, I met up with people from the San Antonio Area Foundation. It's a big charitable organization in town. My mom wants to set up a charity for elementary school kids that go to the elementary school named after my grandparents or her parents. So I met up with these people, and they want to do some kind of Latino initiative with fundraising, etc. So I came up with an idea that I'm going to share with you, and I shared it with them Tuesday when I got back. And I had a great meeting with them, and I've been brainstorming on this idea, and it involves immigrants, it involves entrepreneurship, and they loved the idea. And let me just kind of jump over to that really quick, because there's a connection to Friday. So I'm doing a test run, like a research study, and I spoke to this one lady who was on the day cruise, the Gray Line Grape Cruise. She's from Argentina. About 35, full of energy, jumping, bouncing all over the place. She just loves Miami. And she said, it's my 4th time here, and I'm taking videos. And you would have thought she was at the Willy Wonka factory, right? She was just full of enthusiasm. So I told her this idea, and in a nutshell, Sunshine, this is the concept I have. It's essentially, let me see if I can, so here it is, right? So this is a ecosystem, and this is the core of what I'm talking about right here, which is helping immigrants who are here and who have come here recently, who have skills. Let's take one skill. Let's say you have a group of Dominican women, and they're all former nurses, and they specialize in home health care. And you might have a community in Florida, or you might have a community in San Antonio where, hey, we don't have enough staff to take care of our seniors. So essentially the foundation would issue a grant to an ambassador, like this lady from Argentina. She's a CPA. This ambassador would say, okay, we're going to work together as a trio, and we're going to issue $100,000 grant to help these 5 female-owned businesses start a home healthcare business. And this ambassador, using technology, everything is measured. You've got metrics. If one person isn't showing up, if one person isn't doing their work, immediately things kind of freeze with the technology. So it's not like, we're going to issue the check and we'll see you in 6 months and good luck. No. There's going to be ways to monitor this, because the goal is to go to the donors and say, your money is precious to us, and we're going to make sure every dollar is accounted for. So it's not this big black hole, we're going to help these small businesses. No, they're going to have to show us what they're doing. So I tell this lady from Argentina this concept. Again, I'm doing my market research study, and she said, oh my God, I love it, and I have clients in Houston, I've got clients here, and this could be a way for me to get my license or my papers to move to the US. So the way I explained it to this person who I met with at the San Antonio Area Foundation, they love this idea, because what would happen is you would go to the Greater Chamber of Commerce and say, we're going to take this project and put it under the chamber for 6 months to a year. And the way I see it is everyone has to have their bread buttered. Okay, everyone is going to do something for their own self-interest. So right here, because they have a board of directors and they have liability insurance, professional liability, D&O insurance, the project would fall under there. They'd get a piece of the action, but you'd have a system, so you're not creating a new bureaucracy, new HR department with each project. You're not. You're just saying, we have a task force, let's do it, like making a movie, right? Let's make this movie in a year, and then we all dissipate, or the group may decide, hey, these Dominican women, we're going to start our own little group. It could be even on Facebook, or it could be a formal association. And right here, these are all the allies. This would be banks, CPAs, and these are like large corporations, but also smaller businesses that could help with staffing, hiring people, doing HR reviews for these new employees that are going to be under these small businesses. Because you're talking about a population that doesn't have any knowledge of how to do business in the U.S. And what I told the guy is, on the red side, you have people that will say, okay, you're creating entrepreneurs, you're creating small businesses, you're creating tax revenue, and they're not on the dole. The red people will say, we love that. The blue people will say, you're empowering women, you're growing businesses, you're helping immigrants, you're not demonizing them. but you're also sharing success stories about things that they're doing. So I met with this lady from Argentina who was on this tour. She loved it, and she says, just stay in contact with me. I would love to be part of this. So I was working, even though I was vacationing, because I just thought, as us cancers, we're always thinking, what can we do to solve problems out there? And for me, this could be like a second career, right? I could hook up with the San Antonio Area Foundation, and I don't want to go to work for them, even though I'm not opposed to it, but I love having my own business and I like staying on the ground. But I could see a situation where they could say, hey, I'll do public speeches, and if you give me a $10,000 stipend a year, $20,000 stipend, I'll be like your idea guy for this, and I'll help foster and develop this. In fact, I even bought the name Ayudando Mi Gente. In fact, this whole program is called Mi Gente Ayudando Mi Gente. Mi Gente, my people, helping my people. And Sunshine, where this comes from is this concept of Dominicans are more likely to help Dominicans. Here in San Antonio, the Mexican nationals hate the Venezuelans. Hate them. They won't hire them for construction work. They won't hire them at all. In fact, it's so bad here in town that Venezuelans, when they're out in public, they don't even speak. They whisper because their accent gives them away. And it's funny because when I went to Miami, they said, oh, we have no Mexicans here. It's all Venezuelans and Dominicans and Cubans and Honduras, blah, blah. And it's like, we have the small little Mexican district. And I think they probably have no love for the Venezuelans. In fact, when the Venezuelans travel through Mexico, those cartels treat them so bad. I mean, horrible. So they just don't like one another. So getting back to Saturday, we went on the Havana tour, and it was a 2-hour gig. It was really fantastic because they took us to different restaurants and bars, and we got like little samples of each restaurant and drinks, mojitos. It was just, it was. So I met this lady. Her name is Mariela with Miami Tours. And I told her the idea. She says, oh my God, I want to start a business and I love it, and keep me in the loop. So it's interesting how people like us allow our intuition to guide us and to tell us where we should go. And I felt that the Holy Spirit was saying, you have work to do. You have things to accomplish. There's people who are waiting to hear your story. There's people waiting to be part of a movement out there. And I feel that a lot of young people they can't think outside of themselves, right? They're so focused on whatever's on TikTok or whatever, the latest tall hot guy to come by, or the guy's always chasing a tail. And I mean, young people are young people, but I think that there's a need for leadership to help elevate people who have just arrived here. So after that Havana tour, let me think here. We did something. What did we do? I don't even remember what we did Saturday afternoon. I think we went to. It'll come to me in a second. I'm surprised I completely forgot. Oh, we went to the Wynwood Art District, and we were out there, visited the graffiti museum, which was nice, and then called it a night early, like at 9 or 10. And then Sunday morning, I wake up, go to the beach, had a great time, and my travel partner bought some shoes at Ross, and she didn't want to walk on the beach because the sand was getting inside of her shoes. I was thinking, it's just sand, but again, you have to respect where they're at, you have to respect their views and so forth. But I just thought, life is so short, right? And just take advantage of every single moment. And if a few sand grains come in, you just kind of, and it's not like they were Gucci shoes and it was raining. I didn't say anything, kept my mouth shut, and I just said, you have your own experience to go through, and that's your own. So, by the way, as far as Mi Gente Ayudando Mi Gente, there's different industries, service, hospitality, construction, food trucks, manufacturing. So if you have a group of Hondurans and they are into preparing food in a certain community, what if you could gather 4 or 5 of these entrepreneurs and say, we're going to help you, and you almost create a team, and that team would start these businesses. Now, it could help people like me who are in the insurance business and also other service providers. So forgive me for jumping over and talking about that. So Sunday, take the car out of the valet, drive into Fort Lauderdale, went to the swap shop, bought a bunch of little antiques, some cool stuff, and then we went to this Bonnet Museum. It's a house. It's a museum house, and that was a great experience. Went to the airport, dropped off the car, everything was smooth, and it was just a great experience. Oh, by the way, here's the map of the Bonnet House in Fort Lauderdale. So right here, you've got the mansion, and then you've got the gardens and these wonderful pools of water, and you walk in, and it's just fantastic. So here's a map of the patio inside. And essentially the tour is you walk through here and you visit these halls that are like an art studio, the kitchen, the Shell Museum back here. It was really fantastic. This family made a bunch of money, and they contributed artwork to the Art Institute of Chicago, and it went great. So overall, it was impressive to see the growth of Miami. I've read stories about all these hedge funds and financial people, and I felt like what's happening now in Miami is almost like the second Renaissance, right? But I also deepened my love for Miami and in Florida, because I thought, oh my God, I would love to go see Key West in the Hemingway House. I would also love to go visit the Everglades, and also, like, when I was at the flea market, I took videos of the flea market and I posted it on my Instagram, which you should go visit if you want to see those videos. And I felt like the explorer, I felt like one of the Spanish explorers there. But there was also another part of me that thought it would be so cool to have a connection over here, like this Cuban lady, Mariela. Now, she's married, but to help build out some of these infrastructure ideas with networking and so forth, and just see it play out, and maybe visit once a year and to be part of that, because there was something there that I just connected with. But you have a whole other state that is full of energy, ideas, and new people. So Sunshine, I'm going to be visiting with my parents in about 10 minutes. But I wanted to post this and tell you that I hope you enjoy your care packages. It's essentially another thank you note for your beautiful experience and trip. And also wanted to say you're a darn good travel partner because you can live in the moment, you can enjoy yourself, and not have that severe anxiety, which can be very crippling for that person going through that, because it's essentially a mental health issue, right? You're so anxious, you can't sleep, you're fatigued, you're tired, you get grumpy, and it just feeds on itself. And I had not really experienced that until recently, and part of me was thinking I have to be compassionate and empathetic, because this person is battling these demons, right? Because everything has to be done right, everything, and I have a greater appreciation of people who don't suffer with that, who can just enjoy the ride, enjoy the flow. So happy Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful that you're in my life. I'm so grateful that you shared that gift with me, and I wanted to make this video and post it online. After you've seen it, I'll delete it, so it's not out there sitting out there for the world, because it's for you, right? So big love from San Antonio, from your dear San Antonio Joe. I sent you a big hug. There it is. It's a YouTube hug. I don't think you've ever received a YouTube hug in your life. By the way, yesterday I put, it's not in here today, but I put the gel in here. And oh my God, and what happens is these start curling, and I have like a little bit of a Salvador Dali mustache here, and it just looks so amazing. Like, even men are like, wow, look at that, that's kind of crazy. So that's all because of you and the facial hair. Thank you. All right, big love from San Antonio. Happy Thanksgiving. Tell me what you think about your gift. Ciao.